What if the secret to getting everything you desire isn't about trying harder, but about letting go completely? Florence Scovel Shinn revealed that true manifestation isn't born from struggle, worry, or endless effort but from quiet faith, clear words, and deep trust in divine order. When we stop chasing, stop forcing, and instead align our hearts and minds with spiritual law, life often unfolds far better than we could have planned. In this message, discover why forcing blocks your blessings and surrender releases them, how speaking words of faith instead of fear transforms what comes to you, and how to live each day open, relaxed, and receptive so what is truly yours flows to you effortlessly. Because sometimes, the most powerful way to attract your desires is simply to stop trying and start trusting. Release control and let divine order guide your desires. Florence Scovel Shinn's teachings challenge one of the deepest beliefs most of us carry, that to get what we want in life, we have to work harder, push more, and control every detail until it happens. This mindset is so common that it feels like truth, but it is, in fact, the very thing that blocks the flow of what we seek. Florence taught something radically different. The moment we let go of anxious control and trust divine order, we step into a flow where life itself becomes our partner. Instead of trying to force outcomes, we allow them to unfold naturally, perfectly, and often more beautifully than we could have imagined. At first glance, letting go might sound passive, lazy, or irresponsible. But spiritual letting go is anything but passive. It's an active and conscious choice to release fear and tension from your mind and heart. It's deciding, moment by moment, to place your faith in a higher intelligence that sees further than your own reasoning mind ever could. Why does this matter? Because when you're trying to force something to happen, your energy comes from fear. Fear that it won't happen, fear that you're not enough, or fear that the universe won't help you. That fear becomes the vibration you carry, and it silently instructs life to mirror back more struggle, delays, and frustration. Think of someone desperate to find love. They overthink every message, question every silence, and try to control how the relationship unfolds. Their anxiety makes the connection feel heavy, pressured, and unnatural, often pushing away the very person they wish to draw closer. Or imagine someone chasing money with fear of scarcity. They cling, hoard, and act from panic. The energy they project is, "I don't have enough," and the universe faithfully echoes that belief. Florence's approach is different. She taught to speak your word, to clearly state your desire in faith, and then step back and let divine order arrange the details. You don't have to know how your good will come, only that it will come, in the perfect way and at the perfect time. This is what she called casting the burden on divine mind, a conscious act of trust that frees you from the strain of overthinking. Releasing control doesn't mean you stop acting. You still listen for inner guidance, follow inspired ideas, and show up fully in your life. But your actions are no longer driven by panic or desperation. They come from a peaceful confidence. You trust that there is a power greater than your personal effort, working behind the scenes in ways you may never see. It also means being open to how your desire comes. We often get attached to one specific path. It must happen through this job, this person, this deal. But divine order might deliver your good through an unexpected opportunity, a new relationship, or even a sudden change that at first feels uncomfortable. Letting go of control means trusting the form as well as the timing. One of Florence's most powerful affirmations captures this idea beautifully. "I do not resist this situation. I put it in the hands of infinite love and wisdom, and let the divine idea now come to pass." This isn't giving up on your desire, it's giving up the fear that it depends on your force alone. You surrender the weight of worry and replace it with calm faith. In daily life, this can look like affirming your desire clearly. "I give thanks for the right opportunity that now appears," refusing to rehearse worst-case scenarios in your mind, taking small, inspired actions without obsessing over results, blessing each step, even if it doesn't look like progress yet. You also remain grateful before you see the outcome. Gratitude isn't just polite, it's a signal of trust. It tells the universe, "I know my good is already on its way." This quiet expectation becomes magnetic. When you release control, something remarkable happens. Life starts to feel lighter. You become more creative, more present, and more open to possibilities. You see signs, coincidences, and unexpected doors opening because you're not too busy forcing your way down a single path. Over time, you realize the truth behind Florence Scovel Shinn's timeless teaching. Divine order is not your backup plan. It is your best plan. When you step back and trust it, you often receive far more than you dared to ask for. Speak calmly and faithfully instead of worrying or forcing. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that the words we speak shape the world we experience. Not because they are magic tricks, but because they reveal and reinforce what we truly believe inside. Many people speak words of hope on the surface, while underneath, they're driven by fear, doubt, or desperation. This conflict creates mixed results in life. To attract effortlessly, Florence advised speaking calmly, confidently, and faithfully, instead of speaking from a place of worry or force. Let's break this down. Imagine you're facing a challenge, perhaps financial stress or uncertainty about your future. The common reaction is to talk constantly about the problem. I never have enough money, things never work out for me, or I'm afraid I'll lose everything. Though these words might feel honest, they are rooted in fear. And because your words carry the energy of your beliefs, they keep you locked in the same fearful pattern. Florence's approach was radically different. She taught that words, spoken with faith, are creative commands to your subconscious mind and to the universal law that surrounds you. When you choose to speak calmly and faithfully even in difficult moments, you begin to rewrite your inner story, and life responds. Calm speech reflects trust. If you truly believed the universe was working on your behalf, would you need to shout, beg, or repeat the same fearful phrases over and over? No, your words would naturally become simpler, more direct, and more peaceful. I give thanks that my needs are met, or divine order governs my life. These statements aren't about ignoring reality. They're about speaking from the deeper reality of spiritual law. Florence often said, "Your word is your wand." This means that every word you speak casts a kind of spell, not in a mystical sense, but in a psychological and spiritual sense. Your words confirm to your mind what you choose to believe, and your subconscious then looks for ways to make it real. If you say, "Things always work out for me," your mind begins scanning for evidence that supports that truth. Over time, it shifts your feelings, decisions, and actions, aligning them with your faith. But if your words are frantic, panicked, or desperate, your mind stays in survival mode. You become reactive rather than creative, and you block the flow of new ideas, unexpected help, or subtle guidance. Calm, faithful speech keeps your heart open and your intuition clear, which is how divine order can guide you to the best outcome. It's also important to notice your inner conversation, not just what you say aloud. Florence emphasized affirmations, but she also warned against constantly canceling them with fearful thoughts. For instance, you might affirm, "Unexpected money is coming to me," but then spend the rest of the day worrying. What if it doesn't? The calm, faithful approach is to gently notice the worry and return to your chosen words. All my needs are met in divine order. This practice isn't about denying your feelings. You can still feel fear. The difference is you don't let fear choose your words. Instead, your words become your anchor back to faith. Over time, your subconscious mind accepts these faith-filled statements as your new reality, and your outer life begins to reflect them. Another powerful aspect is gratitude. Florence taught that gratitude is faith in action. Saying thank you before your good appears shows that you trust it's already on its way. This simple shift in tone from pleading to thanking transforms your vibration from lack to abundance. For example, instead of, "I hope I find work soon," say, "I give thanks that the perfect work now finds me." Instead of, "I'm afraid I'll never heal," say, "I give thanks for my perfect health now manifesting." Notice how these words feel calmer, more certain, and more peaceful. That calm faith is what invites effortless manifestation. Ultimately, Florence's message is timeless. You don't have to shout at the universe. You don't have to convince it. You simply have to align with it through your words and your trust. By choosing calm, faith-filled speech over frantic worry, you step into the creative power that has been yours all along. Trust that true manifestation comes from allowing, not chasing. Florence Scovel Shinn taught a spiritual principle that turns most people's idea of success upside down. The most powerful way to bring your desires into reality isn't through endless chasing, hustling, or forcing outcomes. It's through quiet trust and allowing. When you stop treating life like a contest to win and instead see it as a dance you're guided through, your desires flow to you naturally, without fear, strain, or struggle. Why does this matter? Because chasing comes from a place of fear. When you're chasing, you're silently telling the universe and your subconscious mind, "I don't have it yet, and maybe I never will. I have to fight for it." This belief becomes your dominant vibration, and the universe faithfully reflects it back, keeping your good just out of reach. Allowing, by contrast, comes from faith. What I desire is already mine in spirit. It is coming into form at the right time and in the right way. This doesn't mean you sit on the couch doing nothing. Instead, you take inspired action, but you act without desperation. You stay open and relaxed, trusting that what's truly yours cannot miss you. Florence often used the phrase, "This or something better now manifests for me." In those few words lies the heart of allowing. You state your desire clearly, but you don't cling to it with fear or insist it must happen in exactly the way you imagined. You leave room for divine order to work, knowing that life may deliver something even better than what your limited mind pictured. Trusting and allowing means releasing the timelines we often impose. It must happen by next month, or if it doesn't happen now, it never will. Divine order isn't bound by our calendars. Sometimes what seems like a delay is actually a necessary preparation. When you allow instead of chase, you learn to see apparent setbacks as part of a larger, wiser plan. Allowing also means dropping the need to deserve or earn your blessings through struggle. Florence taught that our good is given by grace, not by force. Chasing often becomes a way of proving we're worthy. If I just work hard enough, worry enough, or push enough, maybe I'll finally deserve this. Allowing instead is rooted in the calm knowing, I am already worthy because I exist. What is mine comes to me easily, under grace. This shift changes your energy completely. Instead of anxiety, there's peace. Instead of tension, there's openness. And in that relaxed state, intuition becomes clearer. You notice signs, receive creative ideas, and feel drawn toward the right steps naturally. Your outer actions still matter, but they flow from inspiration rather than fear. It helps to remind yourself daily, what is for me cannot pass me. I allow divine order to arrange every detail perfectly. My good comes effortlessly, under grace, in perfect ways. At first, trusting and allowing may feel unnatural. Most of us have been taught from childhood to chase, compete, and prove ourselves. But as you practice, you discover that allowing doesn't mean giving up on your desires. It means giving up the fear that you must wrestle them into existence. Imagine the difference between pushing a heavy boat upstream and turning it around to float with the current. The boat still moves, but without exhausting effort. That current is divine order, and your role isn't to create it, it's to align with it. Over time, as you choose trust over chasing, you'll see evidence that life truly does support you. Small blessings, unexpected help, and moments of perfect timing become more common. You start to realize what Florence meant when she wrote, "Nothing stands between man and his highest good but doubt and fear." When you release those, what you desire naturally finds its way to you. Ending point. Florence Scovel Shinn's timeless message is clear. The universe is always ready to give. It is we who must learn to receive. True manifestation isn't about chasing what you want. It's about allowing what is already yours by divine right to come, effortlessly, gracefully, and often in ways beyond your imagination.